Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Marjorie. Today I am making a swag with this beautiful Merry Christmas sign. I'm going to be using this very colorful but beautiful deco mesh. I'm going to use 2 rolls of those and 3 of these basically blue and pink pastel ribbons. And so this is actually a work wreath frame, work rail, excuse me, utilized to make centerpieces or swags. And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to set my sign up so I can attach it. And all I'm going to do is staple 2 pipe cleaners to the edge of the signs. Now I'm not going to put them too far close to the ends of the sign like I normally do for a regular wreath, just because the distance is going to be a lot shorter for where I need to attach the sign on this work rail. And so once I give it a good staple or 2, I actually just go back in and give it a few good twists. If you want, you can add a dab of hot glue here to give it a little bit more security, but I find that I don't need to. So I'm actually going to put the pipe cleaners on this work rail, and I just kind of wrap it around and then find the midpoint, and then I go ahead and twist it about 3 times. And as you can see, I kind of did like a S shape as I attached the pipe cleaner. I can't describe it very well, but you just have to watch it. So once I got my pipe cleaners on each joint, then it's like 12 pipe cleaners. And so what I like to do for my swags is, instead of putting a poof at the ends on this one, what I like to do is just give it like a 6-inch tail and then put that in the first pipe cleaner. Then I measure from that first pipe cleaner, and I originally do 10 like I normally do on a work wreath, but I decided to go ahead and do like 12 inches, and I think it ended up working out great. So that's what you see me doing here, is I'm really trying to measure out. Do I want to go 10, 12? What do I want to do? And so then I put that 12-inch mark right into the next pipe cleaner, and then I do that. I measure from each pipe cleaner that I just put the mesh in, and I measure 12 inches. And then once I get to the very end, I measure out another 6-inch tail and I cut it at 6 inches. Then I go back in and I fluff out all of my little poofs. I do the same on the other side, I just didn't show you. And then here, I just cut the mesh at 30 inches and I'm doing a cruffle. So I rolled it up 3 times and I just use a clothespin, turn it around and roll it up another 3 times, and then I just walk my fingers up the middle, and then here I just pinch both sides together, and then I'm going to add it right on top of my pipe cleaner. And so I'm going to do 12 of those, 1 for each of the pipe cleaners. And it does, I think the 12-inch worked out really well. I think the poofs, as far as the 12-inch poofs, I think if I went with a 10-inch poof, you really wouldn't have been able to see it. So I'm glad that I ended up doing a 12-inch, because that was what I was afraid of. I still wanted to make sure that the poof was big enough to give enough girth to the swag. So once I've got all that completed, then I take my tails, which I have 12 sets of tails at 14 inches each. And it's a 2.5 and a 1.5, and I just dovetailed the 2.5 inch ribbon, and then just for the 1.5 inch ribbon I cut it at an angle. Now these colors are so gorgeous. I love the pastel colors, and I just really like the pink and blue for a non-traditional Christmas wreath, and I just love it. But here all I'm doing is taking one of each of the ribbons and folding it in half to find the center point. Then I'm crisscrossing it a little bit and then pinching in on the ribbon in the middle. And then here I'm just using my thumb and pointer finger to kind of curve the tails a little bit. And then I'll put that right on top of the pipe cleaner. And then I think you might see me cutting it off later, but I do end up cutting all of those pipe cleaners down and just giving it a good tuck in the back. But on my last video, I was talking about how the pink and blue was a really nice color combination in my opinion, and that it was just really not like a color combination that I would do for my house. But let me tell you, I debated putting this out of my front door. I mean, I'm not gonna do it, but I really debated it just because I loved how it turned out so well. So then I got all of my ties on, my tails, excuse me, and here all I did was kind of lay out the sign, and as you see, that's where the elf comes in. There's the elf legs and the elf hat. So I kind of just placed them on top of the swag to get a good idea of where I wanted to attach those. And then all I'm doing is attaching the sign right here. And I don't pull it too tight because you don't want that sign sinking in. But I did do it at an angle because I thought it gave it a nice little bit of character. Because then I'll attach the hat over onto the top left and the legs over to the bottom right, and he just looks so cute. So the only reason I thought about doing this, I really initially did not think about doing this type of swag, but I was doing my scrolling for my craft outlet shopping, and I saw this elf design and I thought, oh man, that is so stinking cute. And see, it already comes with its own floral wires to help you attach it to your wreath or your frame. And I thought that this would be a really cute idea to do as a swag. So once I picked out the elf attachments, then I went back and that's when I found all the other supplies to match this wreath, and I think it's so cute. Y'all let me know what you think of it too. If you even like the pink and blue for Christmas, or are you a traditional color person? Honestly, I do like the traditional, but it's more of the red and white. But I prefer more of non-traditional colors just to have that little bit of difference in everything. So this held up really well, and actually the wire that is used on the back of the hat and for the legs, it had to have been about an 18 gauge wire, 18 or 16, because it was pretty sturdy. So the thicker the wire is, the smaller the number. So like an 18 gauge wire would be thinner than a 16 gauge wire. And then here all I'm doing is trying to attach the legs right behind the sign, underneath the sign. And it just has the wire to attach it at the top of the legs versus anywhere else. It doesn't have it anywhere else. But once it sits on top of the ribbon tails and the deco mesh. It really holds its place, so you don't have to worry about it flopping around or anything. So I do end up attaching them and giving them a good few twists. I don't know, I think 3 twists is my my thing, because I tend to do 3 twists in everything unless it's something that's heavy, and then I'll do a couple extra twists just because I want to make sure it's secure. So now that I have it attached, I kind of just still want to get everything in place and right. So I'm actually going to make 2 bows for this swag, and I'm going to do 8-inch tails, I believe. The loops are going to be 6 inches to start with, and then they'll start going down by 1/2 inch, so it'll be like 6, 5.5, 5. But yeah. So once I have the 2.5-inch ribbon on, then I'll do the same thing with the 2 1.5s. So these bows will consist of one 2.5-inch ribbon and 2 1.5-inch ribbons. Wait, I can't remember if I said that right. 1 2.5-inch wired ribbon and 2 1.5-inch wired ribbon. Yes, I always do wired ribbon. And I guess I just decided to go ahead and trim up the tails and stuff on the bow. Make it a little bit easier. So basically everything was purchased at Craft Outlet. The ribbon, the deco mesh, the sign, the elf attachments, and the work rail. Now the pipe cleaners were purchased from Hobby Lobby. Right now at Christmas, it's really good time to get pipe cleaners. They have their red, white, green pack. I don't even remember how many's in there. Maybe 200. 100. Anyways, they're like $2.50. So I normally go and purchase a couple because you could definitely use them if you like to color coordinate your pipe cleaners. Then you could definitely use it for the upcoming seasons with the red and white, you know, being Valentine's Day, winter, Christmas. And then you could actually use the green for like St. Patrick's Day, possibly some other wreaths. But again, I mean, you don't have to have color coordinating pipe cleaners. That's just something that I prefer to do. I don't know. If I'm in a pinch and I don't have if I don't have matching pipe cleaners, then I'll still use it something else that doesn't match. But like I said, it's really typically only if I'm in a bind and I won't be able to get any. So here's how full and beautiful this bow turned out, and I'm just gonna attach one right next to the elf hat at the top right, and then the second one that I make off camera, I go ahead and attach it to the bottom left next to the elf feet. So, and you definitely could add more things on here if you wanted to add different ornaments, different decor to kind of help make it pop a little bit, but I thought it was gorgeous as is. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you again for stopping by, and I hope you all have a very blessed week.